You guys have probably heard by now that Ozzy Osbourne has died. I still can't believe it because he seemed so unstoppable, like he would never die, but at the age of 76, he has. And, you know, for some time he had been battling with Parkinson's disease and really going through it. Fortunately, he was able to perform one last time, and we will be talking about that moment later in this video. The video you guys are going to see is actually a video I filmed about a week ago about Ozzy Osbourne because it was clear that he was not doing well. Seeing him up on stage trying to sit up was just really heartbreaking because he clearly was not well enough. And you know what? While I think that it's kind of sad to see, you know, him up there and almost being pushed onto stage to fail, I also think that this was part of him feeling at peace that he got to go on that stage one last time and do what he loves. There are some people talking about Ozzy giving Young Blood, another artist, his blessing, like kind of passing down his reign to him. Now, I don't know who Young Blood is. Comment below if you guys are familiar, but here they are together at Ozzy's last show.
Thank you, of course, man. Thank you, man, for everything, man. It's an honor, man. It's like the whole city's just...
You got no one, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Good for you. Conquer America, like.
That's it, man. That's the goal. Myself, just so to
Thank you very much, Tom.
And right,
God
man.
bless you.
I'll see you when we're doing pictures in a minute, alright?
Is there anything we can ever do for you?
Do you know what? The fucking music was enough. Thank you so much, honestly. You gave me an outlet. Everyone thought I was too fucking mad, and I was like, nah, man, I'm like Ozzy, so epic.
Just keep going.
Yeah, man.
Don't give in.
No, man, never. It's gonna be fucking epic, man. Love you, Oz.
Love you.
I fucking love you, man. Honestly.
But I just know that Sharon is probably devastated. Their entire family is. At least Ozzy did get to see his daughter get engaged as well.
Kelly, you know I love you more than anything in the world.
Fuck up, you don't marry more doing that.
Nothing would make me happier than to spend the rest of my life with you. In front of your family and all of our friends. Kelly, will you marry me?
Of course, they would probably want him at the wedding, like everyone would, but this is part of getting old and dying, I guess. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne had so much life and more to give that it's really sad to see like this badass rocker really just go through the stages. Now, we don't know if it was the Parkinson's that ended his life. I mean, it's definitely difficult to live with, so I'm sure it could be a factor that contributed to it. But this video, we're going to go through his last performance, and we're also going to discuss some of his craziest moments because Ozzy Osbourne is a legend for a reason. We're going to be talking about crazy moments like when he bit off the head of doves, where he snorted some ants to prove that he was the most badass rocker. So many crazy moments that I was not even aware of.
I don't listen to new metal bands. I don't listen to go, give me the top 10 of the new metal. I've got to... Because one of the dangers of that is if I start to like it, if something gets in my head, it'll come out my mouth, you know.
So you listen to a lot of Justin Bieber? Is that, are we gonna... Justin Bieber?
Who the f*** is Justin Bieber?
Good.
Ozzy, not wood! You could be done for manslaughter! Oh, he's going to the side of the house. Ozzy!
I think the timing's interesting that I filmed this video about a week ago, but here we are now, and I wanted to use this opportunity to honor Ozzy Osbourne. Keep in mind that this video was again filmed before he had passed away, so rest in peace. I'm sending condolences to Sharon and their entire family, and here's a little moment of silence for Ozzy. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this video.
I can't walk. I can't function. I'm not done yet, you know. I'm not done yet. I've been laid up for like 6 years.
Where is the cat? Fucking animals, man. I'm gonna batter the thing out with my walking stick.
We'll release the doves and everybody will say, oh, how nice, how sweet. And the bird landed on Ozzy's knee.
And then he took a bite.
This carcass was flapping around the table and feathers were flying in the air.
Good evening, Ozzy.
What?
Good evening, Ozzy.
Hello there. I picked it up. It was a real bat.
Was it alive?
Well, it was till I bit into the head of it, you know. I mean, the taste of bats is very salty. It tastes of salt. I was arrested for attempted murder in Sharon.
He just said, we've made a decision, and I'm like, weave. Yes, and you've got to die. Started strangling me.
Did you actually snort ants?
That's right, yeah.
The music industry isn't shy when it comes to working artists to death, and it seems like Ozzy Osbourne is next. He recently gave a sad performance where he couldn't even stand during his set when he wanted to. And I feel bad for Ozzy because he's struggling with these health issues, but they're still throwing him up on stage even though he's unwell. I grew up watching the Ozzy Osbourne show with Sharon and their beast of a daughter, Kelly. The Osbourne family was one of a kind. They were the first family to really give us good reality TV, but unfortunately, Ozzy hasn't been able to perform these last few years because he is dealing with Parkinson's disease. He actually said that these past few years have been the most painful and miserable of his life.
When the pandemic hit, I thought, oh, that's kind of like blessing in disguise because they'll go and I'll be healed by the time it gets back home and we can go and do shows. But I'm not better. I can't walk. I can't function. I feel like a 99-year-old guy, you know. I haven't got no support on the back of my neck. Somehow your head is a third of the weight of your body. So the gravity gets in and I can't.
Parkinson's is so difficult to deal with, and my heart goes out to anyone who is dealing with it. He's currently 76, to give you guys some context.
I hold my head up, which I kind of went, oh well, but then I'm not done yet, you know. I'm not done yet, and it's like, I've got things to do, I've got people to see, I've got shows to do. You know, I've managed to make a record or two in the last 3 years. But it's the hardest thing I have to bear is the fact that my brain is still there, but my body's all mangled up.
Unfortunately, that's a sad reality for a lot of people. I've never really met an old person who felt like they were old in their mind. I feel like everyone kind of realizes as you get older that we're not getting necessarily so much older in our brain. Our minds want to do more. We want to talk to people. We want to live, but our body just can't keep up. Ozzy explains that he hasn't done any physical work for the last 7 years or so. He says, by hook or by crook, I'm going to make it there. I've got this trainer guy who helps me get back to normal, helps people get back to normal, but it's hard going. He's convinced me that he can pull it off for me. I'm giving it everything I've got. So he's desperately trying to get back into the game. When Ozzy was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he wasn't able to perform at the ceremony, which is something that people typically, if they can, they will do. But recently he gave us a performance in his hometown, but people who were watching were really uncomfortable witnessing him trying to push through this performance with these health challenges. One person shared on social media that Ozzy's dream was to stand during his last performance, and that wasn't something he was able to do. One person writes, I'm conflicted. He's obviously enjoying himself, but it's sad to see him in this physical state. It feels like an end of an era. And it's interesting that Ozzy doesn't mind going out there when he's so unwell, because a lot of artists or musicians, they don't want to be seen when they're not at their best, so they would prefer to just go into hiding and never to perform again. One person says, I feel a bit sorry for Ozzy being wheeled out like that. He clearly isn't fit and well. Another speculated, I feel bad for Ozzy. Yeah, it's his last live show ever, but it's kind of gross how visibly unwell the man is being wheeled out like this by Sharon. Another person writes, it's very sad, Ozzy in a goth wheelchair. During the ceremony, Ozzy revealed that the idea for the reunion concert was actually created by his wife Sharon. He gave a speech at this concert about how much this performance meant to him, and here's what he had to say.
A lot of people working to get this gig going for me, you know. My wife worked her ass up for a year to get it all organized. And a guy called Tom Morello, who organized all the bands, people like that, you know, make concerts happen. And I don't know what to say, man. I've been laid up for like fucking 6 years. And it's so, you've got no idea how I feel. Man, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Honestly, I think that performance needed to happen, not for the fans, but for Ozzy, because even though he's not doing well, it seems like that means so much to him. It's probably something he's going to talk about for like the next, few months or hopefully years that he has left. But since we're talking about Ozzy Osbourne and how he's been doing nowadays, I feel like we talked about Kelly plenty on this channel, but I want to remind you guys of how crazy Ozzy is. So why don't we use the rest of this video to go through some of the most wild moments involving Ozzy Osbourne. Let's start off with something really disturbing. Oh my God, I can't believe this is true. There was a time where Ozzy had about 17 cats in his home, and one night he decided to shoot them all. Ozzy's wife came home to find him under the piano in a white suit with a shotgun in one hand and a bloody knife in the other. Ozzy later blamed it on drugs, saying, "I was taking drugs so much that I was a wreck," which this kind of reminds me of like the Save the Cats like documentary, like we don't mess with cats. He revealed that he massacred the family's 17 cats at the peak of his addiction, which I don't understand how you're not arrested for doing this.
Where is she? She run back. Where is the cat? Where?
Also, harming animals like that, I don't care how high you are on drugs. What kind of drug makes you want to kill cats? 17 of them.
Come, puss. You fucking dumb mother. I don't know if you landscape walking this time. Fucking animals, man. I'm gonna batter the thing over the fucking head with my walking stick. Sharon! Sharon!
He's a hot mess. He has been.
Nobody's telling, but nobody else will get the fucking cat now. I'm trying to.
Come on, I want you to come upstairs and
I know,
lie
but
down.
I don't. I'm more than all the kids talk, you know. I don't want the coyotes to get the cat.
One thing about Ozzy is that he has lived the rockstar lifestyle, and we've heard him talk about the copious amount of drugs that he has consumed over the years. Like enough drugs to go and murder 17 cats, which I feel like it's going to be in my nightmares tonight. Imagining this crazy man going around with a shotgun and a knife just killing cats. But yeah, Ozzy's been on a lot of drugs, and I wonder if there's like any health consequences because of the amount of drugs he's used over the years. But he has crazy stories about one time when he brought so much cocaine onto a flight, he didn't know what to do with it. He ended up using it with one of the stewardess. And that's not the first time he's had close calls when it comes to drugs.
We had a house in Beverly Hills. No, what's the place next to Beverly?
Bel Air?
Bel Air.
The whole band did?
Yeah, and we were writing volume 4.
Okay.
And I'm in the, a big bowl of coke, a big bowl of dope, smoke, dope. I'm in there, I'm thinking, it's really hot today. So I go, oh, this must be the air conditioning buttons. So I press the fucking button. About 20 minutes later, 6 cops come out.
Oh my God, you pressed the alarm.
Come fucking screaming down the I'll go, it's a raid! So I'll grab bowls of coke. I'll get the coke. I'm going in the fucking toilet, lock the door. I'm going to dump it down the toilet. And I'm going, I can't do this with coke. So I'm going to, this is already called Frank. And I go, Frank, get your fucking spoon out. I'm a fucking banging, And
oh my God.
And we're like gacked up to the gills. And the door knocks, it's okay, I've gone.
No wonder volume 4 was so
I never
good.
slept for about 5 days.
As you guys saw in the beginning of this video, we shared a performance that he recently did with his band Black Sabbath. Well, back in 1979, on April 17th, Ozzy actually had been fired from Black Sabbath for, in his own words, being loaded all the time. He said, "I definitely don't want to work with them again. They have been real assholes," adding that his bandmates wanted to sound like Foreigner and that their new material was impossible to play live. He said, "I wanted to get back to the good basic hard rock, like what we're known for." On March 27th, when the band released their album, words and photos emerged saying that Ozzy bitten the heads off of 2 white doves at the CBS sales convention in Los Angeles. The plan had been that Ozzy would give a speech of thanks to his audience, then release 3 symbolic doves of peace. However, according to this guy Mick Wall, Ozzy had been hitting the brandy hard. He had been drinking a lot. Quote, "I just remember this PR woman going on and on at me," he recalled. "I pulled out one of these doves and I bit its effing head off just to shut her up." What is up with him and hurting animals? "Then I did it again. That's when they threw me out. They said I'll never work for CBS again." Wait. So Ozzy was talking to this woman. She was going on and on about the PR and the speech that he would be giving. And he decided to take 2 poor little birds and bite their heads off. I can't imagine, 1, like what that would sound like, what that would look like, and 2, how mentally ill he has to be. Now, Ozzy claims that the birds that he had attacked were dead already, which does not make sense because like if you're going to release the dove at the speech, how would it be dead? But he claims instead of wasting it, he bit its head off. He said he should have seen their faces. They went all white. They were speechless. That girl in the pictures was screaming. Eventually, a guy came up and said, "You better go." The dead bird, he added, tasted like tomato sauce.
We had to go into Epic to meet everyone. So we said, all right, let's take some doves. And we'll release the doves and everybody will say, oh, how nice, how sweet, and how lovely.
Sounds to smell like it's going there.
I make an impression and throw these doves in the air. I says, yeah, I'll make an impression.
With birds in his pocket and booze in his bloodstream, a visibly drunk Ozzy stepped into a crowded luncheon at Epic Records and released some of the doves.
He sits on this girl's knee, who's head of publicity. She really didn't want him there, and the bird landed on Ozzy's knee.
And then he took a bite.
And there's all these smiling people going.
So was the bird dead? It doesn't sound very dead to me if it flew onto his knee.
This carcass was flapping around the table and feathers were flying in the air and they were all like throwing up all over the place. And people were just freaked.
With blood still dripping from his lip, Ozzy was escorted out of the building and told never to return.
And on the way out, he had another one in his pocket, and he did it again and threw it in reception.
Epic released the record despite the incident.
Now, that's not the first time that he bit the head off of something, because during a performance, somebody in the audience decided to throw something at Ozzy. He thought it was a rubber bat, but when he picked it up and bit onto it, he realized that it was a live bat. He actually had to get a rabies shot afterwards because of this. It turns out a 17-year-old kid actually caught the bat a few weeks prior, had it at his home until it died, and decided to bring it to the concert to throw it on stage to see if Ozzy would say something funny. He actually got really worried once he saw that Ozzy bit it because he knew that it could be really unsanitary. Ozzy says he thought it was a toy bat, although knowing his drug abuse, can we be sure that he would have cared either way? He's been interviewed about this before because who does this? And here's what he has to say.
Good evening, Ozzy.
What?
Good evening, Ozzy.
Hello there.
How are you?
Fine.
Ozzy, first of all, it has been rumored that you have bitten off the heads of doves, bats, dogs, everything. We want to set the record straight. What head did you really bite?
Well, in actual fact, if you want me to be funny, I bit my own head off. But in actual fact, some guy went at one gig on the last tour, threw a bat on stage, and every night we do a gig, you get all these crazy people that come and throw this junk on stage, and I thought it was one of these rubber bats. I pictured it was a real bat.
Was it alive?
Well, it was till I bit the head of it, I mean, the taste of bats is
That's, again, not true because it was not alive. The kid claims it was not. I don't think it was either.
very salty. Taste of salt.
Tastes like anything else?
Well, yes, but I can't really say that on the air, can I, really?
No.
Ozzy is clearly a chaotic person, and his marriage was pretty chaotic as well. Even though he and Sharon seems like they have a united front, he tried to kill her in 1989. Sharon said, "We had a couple of fights. You could tell it was building to something. You could just feel it. I just knew it was coming." She claims after they put their kids to bed that night, she had retreated to her bedroom when she heard her husband was drunk. She said, "He was so drunk, I had no idea who was sitting across from me on the sofa, but it wasn't my husband. He gets to a stage where he's got this look in his eyes where his shutters are down and I can't get through to him. So almost like he's in psychosis." She claims that he turned around to her and said, "We've come to a decision that you've got to die," and then began to violently choke her. Sharon says that she felt some stuff on the table behind her and she felt this panic button, which what is a panic button? But she just pressed it, knowing that cops are going to be coming there. Ozzy was taken into custody, though he says he doesn't remember much about the incident. He said, "I remember waking up in an Amersham jail. I asked the cop, 'Why am I here?' And he asked him, 'Do you want me to read your charges?' which was attempted murder of Sharon."
How could you have the discipline to stop drinking for an audience, but not have the discipline to stop drinking for your family?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'm stumped.
How bad did it get?
How bad? I mean, bad. I was arrested for attempted murder and Sharon. I had no idea. I didn't know what they were talking about.
What happened? Do you remember any of that?
I don't remember any of it. I can remember going to a restaurant, and that's about it.
Sharon, you remember it, obviously.
I was downstairs, he was up. Suddenly he comes downstairs a couple of hours later. He just said, "We've made a decision." And I'm like, "We've?" "Yes, and you've got to die." And I'm like, "Okay." He lunged on me and, got me down to the floor and started strangling me.
How close did it get?
Pretty damn close.
And that didn't stop me drinking.
I know. Why didn't that stop you drinking?
I don't know.
Why did you stay?
Because, people, at the time that we got married, people would look at Ozzy and they'd look at me and they'd think, "Oh, she's so straight. She's so, housewifey. What's the connection here?" With the way I'd been brought up, Ozzy was quite normal to me. I didn't think he was extreme in any way, and I loved him.
But has the domestic violence stopped?
Oh, absolutely.
Now I beat the shit out of him.
I think it's so sad to see how normalized the violence was in their relationship. It's not okay. But speaking of more animals, we've spoken now of cats, bats,
doves, and now we've got ants. Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee revealed what had happened after his band's notorious gross out battle with Ozzy Osbourne. In 1984, rockers were out together on tour. One infamous drug-fueled stop, Ozzy snorted a line of ants in an effort to prove that he was the wildest man of them all. Tommy said that it was full-on true. It's actually pretty disgusting to imagine. I don't want an ant even near me. To imagine them snorting up into his brain. I guess does that just go straight to your brain? Does he have like ants crawling on his brain?
Did you actually snort ants?
They say, yeah.
Did he actually snort ants, Mum?
I was not there, thank God.
Okay.
I used to try and stay away from Motley when they were with Ozzy.
Yes.
I say no.
Yes, I did. I was there.
Interesting that Sharon doesn't believe it, but I mean, Tommy Lee said it's true.
I did it. My nostril too.
What did you feel them crawling around in your sinuses, or did you get like an ant drip?
Tommy Lee said Ozzy was wasted. He sees there's a little trail of ants going all the way to this kid's popsicle that he left on the ground. Ozzy looks down and just snorts a line of the ants going to the popsicle. I guess there was another guy there named Nicky, and he pulls out his wiener at the pool. Keep in mind, this is a hotel, the Four Seasons. There's people, kids everywhere, and Nicky goes to pee on the ground and to go and lick up his own pee to outdo Ozzy. But it turns out that Ozzy effing beats him to it and licks up his own pee to prove that Ozzy Osbourne is the craziest, nastiest person here. But the disturbing stories did not end at the pool, because at that point they needed to get back up into their room. Tommy claims that he got into the elevator with Ozzy and there were people in the elevator with them, and he pulls down his pants and he starts pushing hard because he's trying to go poop in the elevator with people around. Tommy then gets him to his room and he remembers Ozzy's like, oh, I'm gonna go. And he's like, no, you come here. I go in, and he's gonna finish. He starts pooping in the middle of the room. He bends down, picks it up, and starts painting the walls with his stuff. Tommy says, I've got to go, and he bailed, which, yeah, I would have too. Like, what kind of mental, like, what is this type of illness that you would poop and then paint the walls with it?
It was like this who can outgross contest, which Nicky kind of started. And all of a sudden, we're sitting out by the pool having drinks, and Nicky pisses on the ground and goes to lick up his own piss to freak Ozzy out. Well, Ozzy beats him to the punch and starts licking up Nicky's piss. And we're like, oh, this is f***ed up. What is wrong with you two? The hotel is freaking out. The security's kicking us out of the pool. This is like they're doing the outgross contest, snorting ants and licking up each other's piss. And I'm like, oh, dude, let's just go to the room. Let's just chill out. Come on. And the fucking and it fucking, and it's just going like, I'm like, dude, please. I just fucking grab him, like, come on. Take him to the elevator. I find his room, put the key in, I'm like, okay, bud. I like push the door, I'm like, okay, bud, you're in your room. Okay, bye. He's like, no, fucking come in, bye. And I'm like, oh, I almost got out of here. And he pulls me into his room, pulls his pants down, and just shits on the fucking floor. And I remember turning around and I saw his back, and he was just painting with it on the walls, and I just was like, now's my chance. And I fucking pinned it out of there, dude. I was like, this is on some other next level shit. Like, I'm not really ready to compete at this level.
Now, because Ozzy has lived such a chaotic life, there are some people who are convinced that he's genetically mutated, and that's why he's been able to survive all of this. I'm not making this up. A scientist from the Indiana University of School of Medicine profession, which honestly, they need to go and study something else, said that Ozzy is indeed a genetic mutant. In 2010, they did a study of his genes, and they found that he's genetically predisposed towards addiction and has a mutation that gives him a greater than normal tolerance for drugs. Now, I don't know how many people out there would be considered genetically modified, like not modified, genetically mutated like he is, but now that I know this, I feel like there are some crazy people I've met in my life who might be genetically mutated. Maybe that's how we're going to describe it now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you guys watched Ozzy Osbourne's show growing up. If you're a fan of Ozzy, what you think of Kelly, his daughter, who is such a hot mess. But thank you guys for tuning in. Send me video ideas at sloanwellknown@gmail.com, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.